All right, guys, welcome back to another podcast. This is More Than Wages. I'm Dorian. That's Miguel.
I'm Miguel. Welcome back. This is podcast number 3.
Podcast number 3. Unbelievable, huh? This
Yes.
time.
If you're still here watching, thank you for being with us. Most definitely. This is our first podcast with our guest.
Yep, a special guest.
Yeah, very special guest from up north, Fresno, California. She's very, very knowledgeable. What she does in her field and social media. We've been friends for quite a bit. I've been seeing her work all the time, always posting, always pretty much going on live, sharing info with the people. So pretty much we're thankful for having her,
very
our
thankful.
guest
Yeah.
in our podcast. So we're here welcoming Marisol Espinoza. We're going to say her NMLS number, 1379977. We are certified here, so we got to shout that out. So welcome. We're going to let you introduce yourself. So welcome.
Hi, my name is Marisol Espinoza. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored. Thank you guys for thinking of me and inviting me on your guys' podcast.
Most definitely.
I'm a mortgage loan officer with Western Pioneer Financial, and I have been a loan officer for 7 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been in the industry for quite some time.
Yeah, most definitely. That's good. That's quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get started, you're a loan officer, right? Not a real estate agent. Can you let them know the difference between that?
Yes.
Yes. So my job is to get financing for the clients. Now, most clients do need financing to purchase their home. So that's where I come in. I come in and get the right loan product for the right customer. We are actually a brokerage, so we have different relationships with different banking institutions. So we're not like your cookie cutter type of lender. We have a multiple loan range of products where we can custom provide something for someone that maybe, like, for example, if you're a W-2 employee, you're not going to get the same type of financing as like an investor, that doesn't have a W-2 income will get. So basically the way that I work, I like to schedule a quick 10 to 15 minute phone consultation just to get an idea of where the client is. And then that can kind of give me an idea of what direction they need to take. And then that way I can offer the right loan product for them, because everyone's credit, financials, they're all so different. So, I might recommend like a certain loan product for Dorian and then a different one for Miguel. So everyone is different. So that's why I always say, talk to a loan officer, talk to a mortgage broker, and then that way we can kind of lead you in the right direction. And a real estate agent does more of like showing you the homes and negotiating the contract. They're more outside. For example, here I'm still in my office. They're more out in the field showing homes and stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome. That's interesting. A lot of people don't know that. Maybe a couple years ago, I didn't know that. Me personally, in my field of business, I sell vehicles, right? So I'm pretty much like a real estate agent. I show the vehicle, all that good stuff, and then you are what we consider in the field of the bank. You're the one that
Yes.
approves the loans, the rates, and all that good stuff. Which
We're the ones that process the paperwork, and like the person's waiting on their desk, like waiting, just like, give me the keys to the car.
exactly. So you're the finance.
Finance manager.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
okay,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
See, we're learning a
you
little
learn
bit
something
something
new every
here.
day,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So one of the biggest reasons we wanted you on the podcast, correct us if we're wrong. You're Latina?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay.
Sí, señor.
There we go. There we go. We got some Spanish there. Okay, so about
Yes.
39% of California is Latino, and that's about 15 million people. If we're not mistaken, roughly close to maybe mid 40s of those 15 million are homeowners. And what we want to do is pretty much get as much information as we can and spread the word.
Yeah.
Why? Because, if we don't know something, we're pretty much just going to shy away from it. 5 years, 10 years pass, and we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So pretty much that's what we want to do, spread knowledge. So that's what we're
We
here
need
to
some
do.
more Latino homeowners out here.
Exactly.
Yes, we definitely need more Latino homeowners.
Exactly. So let's bang it out. What's the first question?
Okay, so even with me, why do you think so many Latinos are scared to buy a home?
Yes.
I think everyone's scared because of the market crash of '08. A lot of people did lose their homes during that time. And I think it's just, parents telling their kids, like, probably like, hey, be careful, because maybe they probably most of them did go through losing their home. So I think that's why now they're at a point where like that could happen again. But if you're working with the right people, the right team, if you feel like your loan officer is truly looking after your best interest, then you should be in good hands. I always tell my clients, like, just depending on their overall like financials, I'll even tell them sometimes to wait, like, hey, like right now is not the best time for you to buy. Sometimes they want to sell and like get another house, but right now in this market, I'm even telling people, you know what, it's not really wise for you to sell. You have a 2.625 interest rate. If you sell now, you're going to end up with like a 7 or a 6 or something really high. So I mean, honestly, it's just working with the best team and making sure that whatever mortgage payment you're going to be making, that it's comfortable for your financials, like stay within a comfort zone.
See, that's something that a lot of people like would not expect you to answer. Pretty much, some people that are working in sales, you expect them, come in. And sometimes, unfortunately, the customer gets, eaten up.
Yeah.
So you saying that is actually like, a breath of fresh air, that, that's fresh water.
Yeah, it's humbling, not pressuring people into sales.
Exactly.
Right.
Because a lot of people are scared.
Yeah.
Some people are scared because lack of knowledge. They're usually scared of the dark because they don't know what's there.
Yeah.
So, like you say, meeting somebody that actually knows what they're doing, that's gonna give clarity. Clarity is always number one.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, like in the Latino community, like I know it happens like with my family too. Sometimes they get advice from other peers of our community, like, oh, pues dice que la tía esta que le dieron esto, but it's like
Yeah.
the market is constantly changing. So like you can't compare your situation to someone who bought 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
That's true.
The cost of living goes up every single year. So I always tell my clients, honestly, just focus on your own thing. Like, don't compare your financial situation or when La Tia Juana bought her house. Like, focus on your thing,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and then just again, like, just as long as you feel like you're in a good, strong financial position to buy and you can sustain that mortgage for the next 3 to 5 years, then you'll be good.
You know what? That's true, right? Like you can't really base off the other person's uh, financial situation. You gotta just focus on yourself, stay in your lane, and actually conference with people that have knowledge and actually like do something. Sometimes we're so busy comparing ourselves with somebody else's financials, or everybody's running their own race.
Yeah.
We just gotta focus on oneself and do that. And that's funny because sometimes we are comparing about oh, this family member or this friend did that, but hey, we don't know if they were gifted money or that. Some people actually are good at saving.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard to save.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, or like the other person might have like a better credit score than that person, or the interest rates were just lower at the time. So, I mean, there's numerous different factors that are going to determine like, what your purchase is going to look like.
yeah.
Everybody's situation is different, huh? So just focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that.
And everyone's at different levels of life, so
Yeah.
it's you got to take that into consideration too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, cool. Good answer. We like that. Okay, question. As let's say, for example, first time home buyer, somebody that's trying to buy their first not forever home, right? Would you advise them that if they're gonna buy their first house, if it should be like a personal house, like just for them and their family, or maybe a duplex or a threeplex? If someone's buying their first house, would you advise them to get something else, something bigger? I'm sorry, so they could rent out, maybe like a duplex.
Yeah, honestly, it depends on the client. Sometimes I might have like a low income family or person. I might recommend the duplex because what they could do is they can live in one of the units and use the income from the other units to help them qualify.
Yeah.
So I might recommend a duplex. But some families, they just want their own space and they just want to be in their own home. So it honestly depends on each client, but either both are great investments. It just depends on the situation. With duplexes and multifamily, the only thing I kind of don't like about them is that there's very limited amounts of them. And we're already having like such a huge housing shortage problem that, you know, for them to find a duplex where they actually get their offer accepted and they don't have to offer above asking, or maybe the duplex doesn't need a lot of work. That's where they might come into issues, is that
Okay.
it's like, okay, you're competing with investors that can pay for it in cash and they're offering maybe 10,000 above asking price. So that's the only thing about duplexes that I do see in like multifamilies, where you could come across those challenges and those hurdles. But with single family residents, like you have more, like there's more options
Yeah.
for you to get your offer
Less
accepted, and there's more
competition.
wiggle room for negotiations,
Mm,
because there's a lot more single family homes than there are multifamily units.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
yeah, makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
You said something. You said if they were to get like a duplex, let's say somebody that doesn't make as much money to qualify for one, would future rental income actually like help them qualify? How would that work?
Yeah, so let's say it's a duplex. So I can use their income to qualify, but sometimes it's not enough. So if that, you guys are in LA County, what is like, I don't know, a 2 bedroom, like 2 bath, like for the other unit goes, like what would the rent be
Oh
for
man,
out
what
there?
would that be?
I don't know. I seen rents go up to like 15,000 down the street, so I don't know.
They're like about, what would it be, like 1,500, 2 grand,
No,
900? Oh man,
yeah,
it's
not anymore, dude. That was like 10 years ago.
oh man, I don't
But
know
I feel
that.
like the rent's up there. I feel like even here in Fresno where I'm at, rent is like 2 grand in some area, like in the nicer parts
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah,
It's like over 2 grand
Yeah.
for like a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Like it's up there now.
it's up there. Yeah.
So I would say like, okay, let's say rent for that unit goes for, I don't know, 3,000 in LA. We can use 75% of that 3,000 to help them qualify for the mortgage. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
That's
that-
cool. I
that-
didn't know that.
that's
Yeah.
a good amount. 75%. Nice.
yeah.
And is it somebody that would buy I was gonna say a vehicle, a house like that, would they have to get somebody already renting the property, or would be somebody in the future renting the property? Like how would the
Yeah,
bank
so
okay?
the way that I've done it before, there's two ways that you can go about it. You could do what's called a 1007, and it's kind of like an appraisal for rent. And then that will give us like the market rent, and then we can go 75% off of whatever the 1007 states that the unit can rent for. Or the other option would be to do a lease agreement. And let's say you have a friend that, hey, like I'm ready to rent this house out or that unit out. I'm sorry. And then let's say you rent it out for 3,000, then in the lease agreement, you put 3,000 a month, and then they would have to give you the 3,000 during escrow as like the deposit. And then we can use 75% of that. With Freddie Mac financing is also conventional financing, but they might require that you get a deposit, and on top of that, the first month's rent. So with that, we can use the 75% of whatever the lease agreement states.
There's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to get it done. All right, cool. All right.
All right. What else we got?
I think one of the biggest one was, which one was it? The interest rate question currently?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So pretty much right now, a lot of people are scared. They're saying, hey, you know what? Interest rates are high. Is it a good time to buy? Pretty much that same repetitive question that everybody's always at the edge. You know, they just need that little push. One question: when is the best time to buy? And then also, do you see interest rates also going up, going down, or staying sound?
So the best time to buy is when your financial situation is strong. You have stable income, your job is secure. You know, if you feel like your job is in that like position of like, hey, they might cut my hours or I might even lose my job, then I don't think it's wise for you to buy a house, you know, when you're in that
Yeah.
situation. But if you have a business and your business is like booming during the recession, because there's some businesses that do boom during a recession, or maybe you're just doing really, really good and you can afford to make that payment, that's going to be the best time to buy. For example, let's say rates were low and I didn't have a job and my income was stable and my credit was bad. That for me wouldn't be a good time to buy, even though rates are super, super low.
Yeah.
But if you have job stability and you're making really, really good income, then that's when I would recommend that's the best time for you. And
Okay.
again, it goes back to not comparing your situation to others,
Exactly.
because everyone's in different financial levels of their, of their income, their financials, and their life. So yeah, that's usually what I tell my clients. It's like, hey, when you feel like you're financially strong, that's when you should buy. I was gonna say another thing, but I just kind of it left my mind right now. Dang it! But if I remember,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
state
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, we were gonna ask about refinancing later.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. There. So even if the rates are high, right? We could always refinance in the future and lock in a
Mhm.
price.
Yeah, and the thing about the rates, I know they're really like high right now, but they're still somewhat low. Like if you look at history, like in the 80s, the 70s,
Oh
they
yeah, they
were
were
even sometimes
high.
like yeah, they were like in the eights, the nines, the tens.
Yeah.
So they were up there. But yeah, right now we were seeing appreciation go so high, like, within a year, people gained $100,000 worth of equity,
Hmm.
which is unheard of.
Yeah.
And then maybe in LA County it was higher, but I know in my area it was like over 100,000 and within the lifespan of 12 months. So that's why we saw rates go up, because everything was just going up. Inflation was going up, cost of living, everything. So that's why the Federal Reserve did raise rates to kind of slow down some of that demand. But we know that the rates are high right now because of that, because of that reason of wanting to come to bring down inflation. So we know that within a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe 5 years, rates are going to come down. And then that point, we're going to, all my clients are they're going to be refinancing at that point. But
Exactly.
with that being said, I don't recommend someone buy with the mentality of like, oh, the rates are going to for sure come down next year and I'll refinance then, because it's not always guaranteed. So I always tell my clients, make sure that whatever mortgage payment you get into, you're expected to go in with the mindset of like, this is the mortgage I'm going to pay for the next 3 to 5 years. And if you're okay with that, then you will be in good hands.
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
All
That's
right.
good.
Can you talk about any programs out right now? Like any new
Yeah,
programs or
so the first time home buyer program that just came out yesterday is the California Dream for All Appreciation Program. And basically the state of California is giving up to 20% of the sales price
That's a lot.
or appraised value, whichever is less, for closing costs and down payment. So it's a great program. I looked into it and I finally a program that makes sense, because I remember back then they would make programs and you couldn't make over like a certain amount, and it was just like it was hard for people to qualify because the bank wants you to make the most income you can make,
right.
but then these first time home buyer programs want you to make the least.
Mm.
So it
Mhm.
didn't really make
It
sense
was
as far as like the
unbalanced.
debt
Yeah.
to income ratio, because like you would get the program but it would qualify you for literally nothing. It's like, okay, what am I going to buy with this amount? Like nothing.
Yeah.
So this one actually makes sense. However, they are limited funds. I think they're gonna probably run out within a month. I don't
Man,
think it's gonna
that's
last very
fast.
long,
Yeah.
because they only have about 300 million for the whole state of California. And I was doing the math. I know in LA County the income limit is 180,000. So if you make 180,000 and you have zero debt, you can potentially qualify for a home of like 950, 980. And that alone is, what was the down payment for that? Let me see. I wrote it down somewhere. It was $142,500, like that they could give towards
Wow.
your
Mm.
down
Wow.
payment. And then
That's
the
big.
other side, would go to like, let's say your closing costs, because the closing costs on first time homebuyer programs are usually a little bit like up there. So let's say your closing costs end up being like 4 to 5%. So altogether, the state of California on a house of $950,000, they'll be giving you like around 180,000 for the purchase of your
Jeez.
home.
That's
So that's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money.
So
Yeah.
is
So
the program just first come first serve, or how does it work?
Yeah, first
Yeah.
come, first serve. And as long as you're eligible, you just need to have for the standard income, which the income that I just gave you is 180,000. You need to have at least a 680 credit score to qualify. Now they do have one for lower incomes, but to be honest, like those are the ones that I'm talking about where it doesn't really make sense, because
Yeah.
it's like you can't make this much, and then it just it just doesn't make sense. But that one, as long as you have like a 660 and above, you'll get like the low income pricing, and then your debt to income ratio cannot be more than 45%.
I'm
If
sorry.
you have a 700 and above, then your debt to income ratio can go as high as 50%, which is awesome.
Man, is that kind of like the FHA loan? Correct me if I'm wrong, because we're
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
what, like no 1% of this. The first time home buyers, 580 credit score and above. Is that 580 and a credit score and above to qualify for
Yeah, so
FHA?
that was FHA financing. It's the minimum credit score for 3.5% down is 580. But they go as low as 500. But 500 now you're looking at putting anywhere from 500 to 579 middle score. You're looking to put 10% down. They're going to require 10% down.
Would you
But if
recommend
you're looking
somebody
to put
to do
just,
that?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Would you recommend somebody to do that if they're kind of like in that situation, or will you kind of like tell them, hey, you know what, slow down, fix your credit maybe a bit, and then, or should they
It
try it?
depends on this. Yeah, it depends on the situation. Like, one time I did have to do that because, I had a client who was an escrow. She sold her house, was working with an agent that, I don't know if he was new or what happened, but something bad happened where she lost, she was no longer an owner of her home. And then when it came down to it, she didn't qualify for the house that she was trying to buy. Cause it was like one of those, sales where she had to move out of her house to get into another one.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, because she got all the money from the sale of her home, we were able to use the 10% to qualify her for her new home. Cause,
Okay.
and if she didn't do that, then at that point she was going to stay home. She was going to be homeless,
Oh man.
unless
Yeah.
she rented. So, for her, I did say, hey, we've got to do it this way,
Case by
So
case.
it really does depend on the circumstances. If the person doesn't have the money, then obviously at that point I'll be like, hey, just wait, work on your credit a little bit more, and then also save if you can on the side. But yeah, it honestly just depends on the circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And then which question do we have? Is that number 5 or
Well, we can get back to saving money for the program.
saving money for the
Yeah.
program?
So let's say you know how people put like 20,000 down or 40,000 down. What are some tips that you see people do? Because I know for me, it's sometimes it's even hard to save like $1,000,
Yeah,
$2,000. So
most
yeah,
definitely.
so
Saving money for like a down payment.
yeah,
Right. When someone goes to buy a car, sometimes it's tough for them to save maybe $1,000, 2,000. So sometimes for somebody to save what, like 30, 40, fifty
yeah,
thousand dollars, like how do you see tips, right?
yeah. How
How
do
do
you
you see
see
people
your
saving that
clients?
type of money?
Saving money.
Yeah.
Tips for saving money. I mean, getting maybe like a second job or starting a side hustle.
Or being
Um,
frugal, right?
Yeah, I think for people that are struggling, I think that's like, think you got to really ask yourself, how can I make more money? Because sometimes if if you have bills and you're only saving like, I don't know, $100 a month, then it's going to take you a long
It's
time to
take
get to where you
forever.
need.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like you either have to start looking of new employment opportunities
Yeah.
or maybe even getting a side hustle or starting a side business,
Gotta level up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Because that's the only way. You're gonna have to put pressure and make more money, because other than that, you're just gonna be complaining your whole life, not gonna buy a house, not gonna do anything. So you just gotta, be a
Waiting for the
go-getter.
rates to drop, waiting for things that are out of your control to happen. It's like you tienes que tomar las riendas and just like
Yep.
figure it out,
There we
like,
go.
okay, how can I make more money? I like to think of money like energy, like,
Yeah.
okay, those are the numbers. Okay, cool. How can I generate more for myself?
Mm,
And just
that's
work hard
true.
at it and then it'll come to you. But you gotta have the right mindset. You gotta
Exactly.
attract it into
Yeah,
your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put the work in, and it'll come back. It'll
Mhm.
reciprocate. Yeah. Okay, we like that.
Yeah.
All right.
And to be honest, I think right now the people that are winning, because we are in the United States of America, like the people who are winning are people who are self-employed. Like this country is made for business owners. So
Yeah, that's true.
um yeah, I think that a lot of my clients are self-employed and those are the ones that do have that money.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, the investor is always going to beat the retail buyer. So pretty much the investor
Mhm,
is the one that's going to be able to close fast with cash, and
mhm.
cash is king. So that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way
And
to
it's not to say, but the people, like some people who are on fixed salaries that are, just getting paid like, I don't know, let's say 50, 60, 70, 80,000 a year, like a lot of the times when minimum wage goes up, it's not like those people are getting a raise.
Yeah,
So if you think about it, they're kind of coming down with the lower
exactly.
class. Like they said, like the middle class is disappearing, and it's
Exactly.
true.
That's very true. What company? There's a company that's been buying out like the single family homes. BlackRock, what was it?
There's a lot.
There's a lot,
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of them. Yeah, BlackRock is like the most popular one, but honestly, there's a lot of them out there. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's
it's
not
it's
just one.
yeah, it's kind of getting like they're saying that a lot of people are renters now, might be renters for the rest of their life because we're becoming a debt society.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
Yeah,
apps like Afterpay and all that good stuff. We could pay later,
Yeah.
and we don't feel it, no interest rate, but the moment you miss it, boom, there
Yeah.
you go.
What do they say? You'll own nothing but be happy.
Oh, don't say
yeah, I was about to say that.
that.
Beat me to the punch.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they're really trying to sell that dream right there.
Hmm.
Yep, yep, that's horrible. No, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that. Okay, we got
No.
a very, very important question. So, what if I don't have my paperwork correct? Quote unquote, they call me an illegal immigrant, but I pay my
Okay.
taxes. Can I buy a home? Do you know if there's any
Yes.
programs? Yeah.
Yeah, I just started doing them. I haven't closed one yet because I just announced that I was going to be,
Awesome.
we just signed up with a lender that makes it a little bit more easier.
Yeah.
However, they do require 20% down, and I know
Okay.
that not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
But we do them, and yeah, we can use the bank statements to help them qualify, the
Bank
tax
statements,
returns.
tax returns.
There's different ways that we can run credit on their ITIN number or on their fictitious social
Yeah.
that they're using to be able to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people with ITIN numbers are able to purchase a home. So
That's what a lot of
they're
people don't
hardworking
own.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're hardworking people, and they have the money.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no. And sometimes I feel like there's room for everyone to grow. Like we live in a world of abundance, and
Mhm.
sometimes if I know that person doesn't have the 20% down, then I actually recommend them to one of my competitors. I'll like, hey,
Oh,
there's a bank here in Fresno that will do them with 10% down. Here's the information, self-help credit union. Give them a call and get a second opinion.
oh, nice.
I feel like there's room for everyone to grow. Like I'm not the type of loan officer that's like, oh no, it's just my program and that's it. Like,
Mhm.
no, I actually, if I know I can help someone, I will, even if I don't benefit from it. Like I'm not looking to gain anything from it.
That's why you've been how many years? 7 years plus
Yeah.
in the game. That's why you've been. Energy always comes back. So that's the
Yeah.
blessing to hear that you're doing that for people. So
Yeah. A
that's
lot of
that's
people
awesome.
just what do they gatekeep all the information.
Gatekeep all the
Yeah.
information, and they say, hey, you know what? If I can't help you, no one will.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome to
Yeah.
hear. Yeah. All right. What we got? Was that your deal question number 5? Which one is it?
Oh yeah. So okay. So as Latinos, we like to do business with family. We're very family oriented, and what I was thinking was like, how do Latinos, how do we as a group of people, like let's say me, Miguel, his uncle, my dad, whatever, we want to buy a house together. How do we go about doing that? How do we buy a house as a group?
Yeah, no, you guys can definitely do that. Just make sure all your guys' finances are in order. And I actually have helped families before where we have like 4 people go on the loan or 5 people go on the loan, and they all take equal ownership of the property.
Uh,
So they're all winning, really.
sometimes
Mhm.
sometimes when they do these type of deals, would you tell them, hey, you know what? If you guys have the availability to put so much money down, because everybody's coming in together, would it be better? Do you know if it would be under like a LLC or sometimes, well, I don't know, something like that, or would it just be better just doing
Yeah.
it normally?
No, I do recommend that they like if they want to keep it like business related, I always say separate your personal from your business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you get a lot of tax benefits too.
Mm.
So or just protections, like if you put it like in a LLC, you can look into trusts. I actually
Okay.
recommend putting your properties in a trust versus like an LLC.
Untouchable, right?
There's a lot more benefits to putting it in a trust than an LLC, especially when it comes to taxes. Like if you, let's say one of the beneficiaries like dies, and then the daughter or the son is in on the loan, and then you inherit it to them. now they're subject to taxes if it's not on a trust. So it's
Okay.
like best to put it in a trust to avoid that, you know? So then that way Uncle Sam isn't taking some of the pie,
Nice,
you know?
nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard, I might be wrong. I heard sometimes when you put it on a trust and let's say 40 years later somebody passes away, the property earns value. And sometimes, the government
Mhm.
wants to tax after the sale. Um, I'm not too sure if you know, but maybe since it does generate more value after time, like anything that's in real estate, after the sale, I heard that maybe they can't tax you that much.
Oh, you're talking about capital gains and taxes?
Yes.
They're talking about capital gains
Capital
and
gains, yeah,
taxes?
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So,
Yeah, so like if you bought a house and then you sell it within like, I don't know, 2, 3 years, and then you gain like, I don't know, $200,000 in equity, then
hmm
yeah, like sometimes you will get taxed unless you do what's called a 1031 exchange.
yeah.
And basically when you're doing the exchange, you're saying like, hey, I'm selling this property, but I'm going to be buying another one with the proceeds. And then you actually never get the funds. It actually stays in the, like with an escrow company,
Ah,
and then they allocate the funds on the new property because it's basically you're just moving your assets around.
that's awesome. See, you're untouchable. You just keep
Okay.
moving it around and around and around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, question. If someone were to come up to you and they would ask you, can I have some guidance? Like, what are like the baby steps someone could take into purchasing their first home? Like, what do they need to get ready? Like an emergency fund, uh, some type of down payment based on what they want to qualify. Like, what would be some of the steps that you would tell
Yeah.
them?
So credit is honestly one of the most important ones. Like always take care of your credit.
Number one.
I feel
Okay.
like that one
Yeah.
is like number one because
Yeah.
with credit, we can maybe find like a loan program that will help you. The next one would be having money in the bank. Honestly, saving. Like that would be your next big one. I've had clients where they don't even have jobs, and if they have good credit and they have a big down payment, I can get them financing.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like I have clients who have like 2 million in the bank and they have good credit and they don't have a job, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I've helped them before.
That's
So
awesome.
Just 2 million, huh?
you
It's
know,
just a little
like
2 million
there's
in the
always
bank.
yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm being real. Like,
That's awesome.
and
That's
there's
awesome.
always
Bless
a
them.
type of loan program that will help them, you know? So I mean, you don't need to have 1 million, but as long as you have like 20% down or even 3% or 5%, I feel like it's easier to work with that client versus
Yeah.
someone that has bad credit and has no savings. Those are always, always, always the hard ones to find something that, that will actually work for them.
Okay. That's awesome.
And what do
Yeah.
you consider good credit?
Anything over 680 and above.
680 and above?
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Back to what you were telling me. I'm not gonna burn out anybody, but there's a lot of people that have in my past friends and family that purchased friends that purchased houses, and after they give their down payment and all that good stuff, they've asked me to let them borrow money just so they could hold it in their bank for a couple months. I'm not too sure why. Maybe they need to reflect like income in the bank or something like that for a couple months after
Sorry,
the
can you
sale.
repeat? Because I don't know if it's
Oh,
my computer, but it like, oh yeah, it is
curious?
it's my internet. It says my internet connection is unstable.
Oh
So I'm sorry, can
no!
you
Oh
repeat
no!
that? Because
Yeah, most
my
definitely.
thing froze.
So pretty much after if somebody were to buy a house, right? And then
Yeah.
after they submitted their down payment, all that good stuff, I've had people ask me if they could borrow money so they could just have it in their bank account for maybe like a couple weeks or a month after. Does the bank verify if they could like maintain the monthly payments after the sale? Or why would somebody ask? Because they asked me like, hey, do you have some money that I could borrow so I could put in my bank account? I just, bought a house and I just need it there for a bit. Like proof of funds type of thing.
The proof of funds usually is when they're in escrow.
Okay, so that's
So
before, yeah. Why would they ask me
So
that?
let's say you submit an offer, it gets accepted,
Yeah.
that's when escrow starts. But that doesn't that necessarily mean that you're the owner, because we need about 20 to 45 days to close the transaction.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's when like we're making sure the title is clean. We're making sure that the property is in good condition, that it's worth what they're selling it for or more. So during that time is when we ask for proof of funds. And yeah, so some lenders will need, well, all lenders will need to verify where the money came from, because the government has an anti-money laundering law where we have to,
check the
like, if
fight.
there's a big deposit in someone's bank account, we have to trace it. Okay, where did it come from? And if it's cash, we can't use it, because that's how they prevent, you know, people using cash money to purchase property or, you know, assets. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
Okay.
I think some people say, like, hey, like, you know, do you know anybody that already has it in the bank account for longer than 2 months? And, you know, once you close escrow, then you can just pay them back after that, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's
That
how it
maybe
works.
that I was always confused. I was like, why are you asking me for money? Like, okay, cool. I had another question. This always been in the back of my head. Back to the question about family buying a property together. Let's say, for example, we got 3 people. 2 people have good credit. They're actually going to run their credit, be on the loan. What's 2 questions? Could there be a third person that could be on the title but not on the loan?
Yes.
Could the other people kick them out at any time, or that's not possible?
Can the other 2 people kick the third person out?
Yes. So let's say, for example, everybody evenly put 15 grand, but only 2 people were actually ran their credit and asked the bank for the loan, but the third person just wants to be on the title because he put an equal share on that down payment.
I mean, you got to be careful with that, because once they have property rights to the title, then yeah, they also have to sign off on it. So they have rights to the property.
Okay, so be careful.
Yeah, gotta do
Be careful. Okay, cool. I had another
That's a good question, by the way.
Yeah, always thought about it. I'm like, okay, so that's a Theo question, you know, if they're gonna jump in or not. What was my other question?
Oh, I have one.
Okay,
All right. So on average, how much do you think someone should be making, let's say, to buy like a $500,000 house?
$500,000 house? I would say over 100,000 for sure. Depends on the down payment and the program.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of factors because there's a lot of programs.
Well over 100,000 for sure.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head,
Yeah,
but
there's not a lot of jobs paying over 100,000.
100. And also their debt, because if they have a lot of debt, then they might be, you know, they might even have to make 150 to 200,000, you know, because we do have to consider their current debt.
Yeah.
So the more debt you have and the more you want to qualify for, the more you have to qualify. Because let's say I have 2 car loans and you don't, and we make the same income. Just the fact that I have 2 car loans, I'm going to qualify for a lesser amount than you would, even though we make the same income, because I have two liabilities that will decrease my buying power.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Cool. Another question. Let's say me and Dorian are buying a house. I got 680 credit score. He got, let's say, 760. We both submit our information. Would the bank base a rate on his credit or my credit?
yours.
Yeah. Okay. The lowest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? That was something I always wanted to ask. I was always like, you know what? Whose credit are they going with? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Good to know.
We'll run there. So everyone has 3 different scores, like Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Yeah.
So we'll run all 3 bureaus, and then we'll go off of your middle one, and then we'll go off of Dorian's middle one, and then the lower of the 2 is the one that we have to go based off.
Snap. Okay, cool.
That makes
We're
sense.
not. So we're not using mine.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean,
But at some point, you know, some clients, like for example, that happens a lot with spouses. I'm like, at this point, you got to take the loss, because without your wife's income or without your husband's income, like I can't qualify you. So
that's why you got to choose the right one, right? You got to choose the right
You
one.
still got to move forward. You know, you're still qualifying. Be happy that you're qualifying, because a lot of people are getting priced out of the market. A lot of people, even if they wanted to buy, they can't. Like they got priced out.
Yeah.
So if you qualify, buy, and you're and if you're in a good financial situation, buy, because like you said, a lot of these investors are bulk buying family single residences, and they're renting them back out to you. And that's why even we're having like a rental shortage problem. At least here, I don't know what LA County's looking like.
Oh,
but
we
I know
got a
here
problem too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's
we have a
huge.
wait list of a bunch of people just waiting to get something, to get into something, you know?
Yeah, even apartments, they're
And our
all
population
Airbnb.
is growing.
I know,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Growing.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's it's going up. So everything's gonna be praising up, 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 and up. So that's what's up. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like the builders, after the '08 crash, like a lot of, I don't know how, I forgot the stat, but like they didn't build houses for years. Usually like you have a recession, but builders are still building.
Mhm.
And when the '08 crash happened, like they stopped building completely until, they started getting confidence in the market again. So
Yeah.
that's also why we're kind of seeing some of the low housing inventory.
And they keep trucking. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm gonna look into that. I wonder why. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, cool. Do we have any other questions? You got any other questions?
Man, I know I got a couple, but I blanked out.
Yeah, you blanked
Yeah.
out. I mean, you pretty much answered and hit 500, 600s on the bat with everything. So, I mean, yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, you answered a lot of
Yeah,
our
I mean,
questions.
the last one I could think of is what are some mistakes that you see people make
Oh,
when
yeah,
buying a
most
house?
definitely. Some mistakes that you've seen people like mess up deals or even after they buy the house, right? What do they do wrong?
Mistakes on the buyer, or like the mistakes on like in our industry,
No,
like real
on the
estate
buyer.
agents or loan
I'll
officers?
say the buyer.
On the
Yeah.
buyer, yeah.
On the buyer, buying a car after they get pre-approved, quitting their job after they got
Quitting their
pre-approved.
job? Oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of the times they think that like, so the banks will call the employer like right before they release funds to make sure that the person is still employed.
That's
And
crazy. Why would you quit?
yeah, and some people do quit. I mean, and some of them don't quit. They get fired, but they don't tell me
Oh,
because
okay,
they're
okay.
hoping that the deal still goes through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then I find out that they got fired or they quit. But I'm pretty good at sending them a list of what not to do during escrow, and most of my
Yeah.
clients, like they're pretty good.
They listen. Okay. No, no, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll
they
probably go get
listen.
a car like in the middle.
Oh, late payments. Oh, that's another one. Late payments can drop a score like 50, 100 points.
Jeez.
Like late payments are just like a big no-no. Collections, like if a sudden collection comes up on their credit
Mhm.
that they didn't have before, like
That'll
that
ruin
could be
it.
a deal killer too. Yeah.
So they'll run their credit again and again until they
Well, we
close
have to run it every 90 days.
every 90 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then they'll do a soft pull to make sure that there's no new like debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, man. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, they have to. That's a lot of money they're loaning out. So, I would be nitpicky too about everything. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So
they're-
sorry. Go ahead. Didn't want to interrupt.
Oh
you.
no, I was just gonna say that yeah, no, it's a lot of money, and they just want to make sure that their funds are gonna be secured, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, so I was talking with Miguel, and there's not a lot of jobs paying over 100,000 a year salary. So what type of clients, like what field are they in that you have?
Engineers,
Engineers.
Engineer.
software engineers, like, anything that has to do with like tech.
Do you see like a lot of
nurses.
e-commerce people, something like that?
Business owners make money. Sometimes they just don't report it, but they have money.
They got money saved up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Nurses, doctors, what else? Like managers. Managers make, like, store managers actually make pretty good money.
Oh yeah.
Like I heard Panda managers make over 100K. In and Out for sure, their managers make over 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few jobs that do pay over 100K.
What about truckers?
Oh, truckers.
Yeah,
truckers,
there you go.
There you go.
For my people out there.
I can't believe I
Shout out, shout
forgot about
out.
truckers. Those are like one of my favorite clients.
There you go, guys.
There you go. Shout out.
Latinos.
Put out the what is it? The school?
The CDO.
There you go.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are Latinos too. So yeah, no,
There you go.
they
We
make
pushing.
over
We're
100K.
pushing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that truck drivers make a ton of money.
Yeah, they make
Over
a
Yeah,
lot
no,
of
they
money.
do.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money.
The ones that transport the cars, the ones that have like the Tesla,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the cars, like and you see like there's like like a stack of like what, 6, and then like another bottom of like another 6 at the bottom.
Yeah.
Those make like closer to like 200,000 a year.
Jeez.
Yeah, they make really good money.
Go apply real quick. That's awesome. But they put in a lot of work.
Yeah, they
It's a
do.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Much respect for them.
It's a
So,
lot of
yeah.
work. And then, you know, I don't know if they're liable for having all those cars, but I'm sure that's why they probably get the good money.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. Cool,
Mm-hmm.
cool. I mean, I think that's towards the end of like all of the questions we got. You got something right off the top of your head?
Not that I can think of. I'm right now. I feel like I'm excited to buy a house.
Oh yeah,
I'm
most
ready.
definitely. Most definitely want some rental properties. We need to go check out Fresno too.
Yeah.
When?
Make sure you guys hit me up when you're
Most
ready.
definitely. Most definitely. Most
But
definitely.
yeah, well, hey, whenever you want to come to Fresno, let me know. Honestly, Fresno has a bad rep, but if you're like the rancho life,
Oh no,
like,
you guys got the big redwoods and all that, so it's
yeah,
like
there's
it's
a lot of
beautiful.
like, honestly, like we're so centralized. And to be honest, like I actually used to live by the beach in Monterey. It's called like, it's like a little town called Sand City next to Monterey. And I never once went to the beach. Like I probably went
Really?
like, probably like once or twice.
Oh my God.
But most of the time I was just like Monday through Friday, I was like tired. So I never really went during the week. I should have,
Yeah.
and taken advantage of it. But I don't know. I just started getting like homesick, so I ended up coming back to Fresno. But there's a lot to do here too. Like on the weekends, like you can always go to SF for the weekend. You can always go to LA. I'm always in LA, like every other week now.
Awesome.
And yeah, we got all the mountains around us. We have Yosemite. We have Sierra National Forest. Like there's so many forests around us.
You got casinos. You got a lot of stuff.
Lifestyle,
Most
like,
definitely.
this is the place to be.
There you go. There you
Y'all
go.
got Reyes,
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Shout out to your homie Reyes.
Raised entrepreneur.
All right. Cool. So Marisol, I mean,
There's like space here, there's space.
oh, there's
so,
space to do a lot of stuff. So
San
that,
Bernardino too, huh?
and that-
People
yeah.
are investing on in San Bernardino.
Oh yeah. Oh, what are some of the areas that you see people are investing out towards? That's one of the questions we wanted to ask you.
here,
Most definitely.
Fresno.
Yeah. Right.
We got a lot of people investing here in Fresno, especially like people from the Bay Area. We got a lot of Bay Area and then some LA, but I feel like I noticed, at least from my own experience, I noticed a lot of people from the Bay Area because they're like the Bay Area is like 2.5 to 3 hours away, so it's a little bit closer than LA.
Yeah.
Because LA is like about 3 to 4 hours depending on traffic. But the Bay Area, I feel like a lot of them sold their houses and they came and they bought a house with cash here, and then they bought like 2 or 3 cash to rent them out.
Nice.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. They need that peace, that tranquility over there.
Yeah, a lot of them came to retire out here, because it was just, they could stay in their $3 million home or buy a bunch over here and live off of that income.
Exactly. Smart business people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's where a lot, because Fresno or the Central Valley is still like an affordable area. Like a lot of people can still afford to buy a house here. Another thing that brought up house prices here is people with remote jobs that still want the California lifestyle. Because not everyone wants to move to Texas. Like it's humid over there and there's tornadoes.
Yeah.
It's a tornado. And where was it? Montebello?
Yeah. Oh, right there. Yeah, there was a
Down the
tornado.
street, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still love California. I still want to stay here. Like, I don't know. I can't do humid places. Like
Same.
Even though I love Miami. I think Miami will probably be the exception.
There you go. Miami lifestyle.
Yeah, but other than that, I just like the weather, especially in LA. Like when I'm out there, I'm like, oh, I might end up like start an office over there in the
Most
future.
definitely. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Be very successful, just like you're doing up there. Most definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of Latinos out here. They
Oh
need
yeah,
help.
most definitely. We need the help.
Yes.
We need the help.
Yes. You guys need a rock star Latina loan officer.
Of course, calm down, calm down. Most definitely. We're gonna ask you, like, where can we reach you? Like, where could people reach you out if they need like any info? And then also, we know that you're up there, but maybe people want to invest up there, or maybe could you help them out down here? Talk to
Yeah, so I'm licensed in all of the state of California, so I can help as long as you are buying in California. I can help. some investment loans, because they don't follow your traditional guidelines. I can even help people that are wanting to buy in Texas if you're someone that wants to live
Okay,
in Texas.
awesome. There you go.
But but it is more for like the people that are more like investors or like have the money, like at least 20 to 30% or even more than that. But anyways, I digress to the original question. If you need to find me or if you need my help, you can find me on Instagram at Home Loans with Marisol.
Most definitely.
You can also go on my website, www.homeloanswithmarisol.com. On there, you'll have the application link. And then I also have like most of the loan programs that we offer on there. Not all of them, but most of the common ones. And then what else? Oh, and then my phone number, 559-234-4921. That is my office line, and you can reach me there from anywhere from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night.
Or till 8. How long were we keeping you there, huh? All right, cool.
I mean, honestly, like usually my work day is about 7 p.m. So it looks like
you're getting money. That's good. You're getting money. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, any other questions? You got some questions, Dorian?
No, man, just hope to send all my truck driver buddies out too.
There you go.
So
Yep.
got like
Yep.
16,
Oh, and
20
truck
people.
drivers can actually. So one thing about truck drivers too, before I forget, like let's say you have a LA truck driver, but he commutes throughout the country. They can buy in Fresno with 5% down or 3.5% down or 0% down. But let's say like you have like a service worker that physically requires them to be in LA, like maybe a hotel manager, and they have to be there.
Yeah.
They would have to put 20% to be able to buy in Fresno.
Oh.
So if you work remotely, you can get a job literally anywhere with little to no money down. But if your job physically requires you to work there, then it kind of limits your radius to 100 miles within you, within your job site. Yeah.
Nice. Did not know that. That's good info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, you guys watching, if you guys have any like questions, concerns, comments, go follow her Instagram. She's always doing live. She's always giving out info, free game. This is free game. People like, go hours in depth, YouTube and all that good stuff, trying to figure it out. I'm sure, if you send her a message, I'm sure she'll respond and she'll help you out. We even took a sneak peek into her website for getting approved on loans or pre-approved. It takes like 5, 6, 7 minutes. It states right there, submit your info and, she'll get back to you ASAP.
She's here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, thank you guys for having me again. Like I had fun talking to the both of you, and yeah, whenever you guys want me to jump on again, I'm more than happy to.
I think we're gonna have to because we're gonna have
so many
we're gonna have a lot of people hitting us up, and also we're gonna have a lot of questions for you. So hopefully this could be like maybe like a routine. If whenever you have time, and if you wanna, jump in.
Yeah.
Come back for part 2.
And I'm going live tomorrow too. So
Okay.
if you want to jump on my live tomorrow, I'll be there March 29th at 6 p.m.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Cool.
All
I
right.
want to engage with my followers, and I feel like it makes it like so I can see what they're asking me and just be more engaging with who follows me. I want to get to know
Most
who's
definitely.
the person following me. Who are the people following me?
And you got your TikTok going on as well, right?
Oh yeah, TikTok.
Yes.
TikTok is the same hashtag as my Instagram at Home Loans with Marisol. I need to be a little bit more updated on there. Like I feel like I haven't posted in a while. I feel like I post more on Instagram just because you could put like a
it's a little bit easier. And let's go. Yeah.
But with TikTok it has been a little bit more challenging, but I do post informative stuff on there.
Yeah, most definitely.
And so yeah,
most
follow
definitely.
me on TikTok.
I think that's where we found you. Yeah.
I'll make funny and sometimes fun videos and informative videos.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for being with us, Marisol.
Thank you guys for having me. It was fun. You guys have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Too.
Have a good one.
Thanks. All right, bye.
Bye.